Welcome to another episode of the Littlest Pet Cast. Today's episode is a little bit different. We are gonna discuss a topic which can often be confusing within the community.
That topic is mystery pets.
Now, as a disclaimer, we do not own any images used in today's video. All credits will be named below the images shown. We are gonna have 3 categories: confirmed mysteries, possible prototypes, and debunked mysteries. So, what are mystery pets? They are LPS which have been found by community members, usually on Chinese websites. These pets have never been officially released by Hasbro and have not been seen in any Hasbro advertising. The websites you most often could find these pets on are AliExpress, Taobao, eBay Asia, and DHgate. These sites were the first places you could find these mystery pets, as sellers were factory workers who took the old, failed, or simply unproduced toys that were laying around and sold them online. DHgate was a place where you could buy these mystery, factory error, or prototype pets in lots together in 2007 to 2012. Sadly, nowadays, since Hasbro stopped producing LPS for a while, you won't find these lots anymore. Perhaps though in the future we might see a resurgence of this with the new basic fun pets. We can also find mystery pets on places like Mercari, Vinted, and even Etsy, being sold by average everyday people who either don't realize what they have or people who know what they have and sell for a lot of money. Now we are gonna get into our first category, confirmed mysteries. Take note that we may not include every single mystery pet out there. If any are missed, we will include them in a follow-up video in the future.
Our first pet is going to be this beautiful brown deer. This deer was never seen on any packaging nor pamphlets in the original run of Generation 2. She was sold on eBay Asia back in around 2007 to 2010. She is very difficult to find for sale now. We checked every site we know, and she was nowhere to be seen. Upon attempting to find any officially released deer that looked similar to this one, we found none closer than number 979. And even while these pets looked very similar, they were not close enough that we would rule them to be a possible prototype.
Our next pet has a similar situation. This frog was found around 2007 to 2010 on sites like eBay Asia or Taobao. Could it be a prototype of some pet? Maybe, but to make a claim like that would require more information and a somewhat obvious released counterpart. You may ask, isn't there a frog that looks similar to this though? Perhaps you mean number 474, or number 532, maybe number 898, or number 1214, but most likely number 1424. This pet looks the most similar, although it lacks many features in the eyes and face. You see, Hasbro made a lot of frogs with similar expression and one with the same colors, but even if this were to be a prototype of one of these, we can't quite 100% claim it to be for one or the other.
For our next pet, we're gonna jump to Generation 3. This pet was found on eBay Asia. They don't have any officially released counterparts. There weren't many Generation 3 flamingo released. It's interesting to see this mold have a mystery.
That's actually not our only newer generation mystery pet. We also have a Saint Bernard with a lot of fluff, or mold. Either way, this little guy is very cute. He seems to be a sort of flocked pet, although the flock is very intense. There was never an officially released flocked Saint Bernard. This guy may have also been found on eBay Asia.
Our next pet is this chinchilla.
This chinchilla was found on eBay Asia around 2016 to 2017. She appeared without any fluff on the tail. Kids Pet Shop was the only person to own this pet with the fluff until 2018.
For our next pet, we're gonna talk about this penguin. This penguin looks really familiar. It reminds us of this pet triplets penguin. They almost look like a grown-up and baby version of each other. Nowadays, this penguin is very expensive and hard to find. Listings can get up to $1,000 or more. He was originally found around 2007 to 2010 on eBay Asia. Our next pet is another bird, but this time an owl.
This pet was also found on eBay Asia. She was found around 2007 to 2010. Her colors are very vibrant and unique for a Gen 2 pet, since most had more muted colors.
Next on our list is a pet you may recognize from the recent reboot, as there is a Generation 7 Wave 2 cat whose design seems to be based off of this mystery. The Gen 7 version of this cat has little star decals on the face and slightly different eyes, though all of Generation 7 has different eyes. From the people who have owned this cat, it seemingly had issues with its neck peg. Often described as discolored and deformed, this girl started to pop up around 2007 to 2010-ish. She could be found on eBay Asia. We'll also talk more about the reboot pets in a future video.
For right now, let's move on to our next pet. Another crouching cat. This purple cat is very pretty and she's unique as well. Her purple coat is unlike any other released crouching cat. She was found around 2007 to 2010 on eBay Asia.
Our next pet is another purple animal. This guy is probably one of the most common mysteries. For the past couple months you could find this guy selling for very cheap on AliExpress, but it seems that sellers have run out of stock. He now is often found selling for between $20 to $40 online by resellers. He looks like an inverted design of number 1663. This pet was actually originally found around 2017 to 2018.
Our next pet is quite the opposite of the sugar glider. He's very hard to find for sale, but I'm sure most of the community at least knows of him or has seen him around. This guy is suspected to be our old idea or alternative design to the Comic-Con cat from 2009. He has the same superhero outfit minus the gloves and chest design. He can cost quite a lot of money as well. The officially released Comic-Con cat often sells for $800 to $900 out of box. And $1,000 in box, this guy can sell for around that as well. After digging through the internet, we found these websites with him priced at between $1,000 to $2,000. He was found around 2007 to 2010. This pet is super difficult to get your hands on unless you save a lot of money for him, so if you have him, keep your windows locked. But seriously though, he is a pretty cool pet. Our next pet is also pretty cool. This rabbit seems to have the same sort of heart decal on the head as the crouching cat we saw earlier. It would be interesting if they could have possibly been designed as a pair, though we have no real evidence of that. She was found around 2007 to 2010 on sites like eBay Asia.
The final pet we have for this category is another rabbit.
This one was found on AliExpress very recently actually. February 23rd of 2024. She appears to be a sort of body swap between two different mystery pets. The pet here in this image is the only other sighting of this pet as far as we know. Except this one has the correct body with the head. The other has a mix of that pet with this body. This pet was found on Taobao a good 10 years ago. Now that's all we have for the confirmed mysteries section. We tried to pack as much information as we could into this, including where the pets were found and making small comparisons to released pets to either show how unique a design is or to show why we can't include it in the possible prototype section. It's time now though for section 2. Section 2 features mystery pets who have very obvious and or similar released counterparts or explanations. Majority of these are just prototypes, although they don't appear in any advertising to solidify that.
The first pet of this section will be a very common example of this.
This cat was found on sites like AliExpress around 2016 to 2017. They appear to be a prototype of number 2138.
Another common example, or very familiar face for many people, is this cat.
Many of you may remember this pet as Destiny's evil twin sister. That's because this pet does appear to be a prototype of LPS Hannah's old mascot, Destiny. She was found around 2007 to 2010 on sites like eBay Asia. And she is of course a likely prototype of number 1312.
Our next pet is another cat, this time one from Generation 6.
This pet appears to either be a factory error or a prototype of Barb's short paws, a pet which is released later on in the Mischief Pals pack released in 2017. Next up we have a kitten. This one's from the Pet Triplets series. This kitten has bright yellow eyes as opposed to the green eyes it's meant to have. This pet is a likely prototype or error of number 1336 from the Sticker I Pet Triplets kitten set. Next is our final cat for this section. This pet was found on eBay Asia around 5 or so years ago. She may remind you of Jade Catkin. It's believed this cat may be a prototype of Jade from Littlest Pet Shop, A World of Our Own. Possibly she was originally meant to be cream-colored. Or perhaps this is some kind of error or scrap design.
Next we have a hedgehog.
This pet was found around 2015 in a lot on eBay with a few other mystery pets. You may be asking, how is this a mystery? It looks just like number 861. Well, if you look at the two next to each other, it's easier to notice.
Speaking of that eBay listing, by the way, we also have to talk about the other pets included in that.
We'll start off with this kangaroo. This pet is often compared to number 983. We believe it is likely a prototype of that pet. A big support for that being that in the LPS Presents web series number 983 does appear, but it has one particular feature that is reminiscent of the mystery instead of the actual released pet. The pouch is cream-colored, like the mystery. You'll notice on the released pet the pouch is the same as its base color. Some other interesting things about the mystery pet is that it has pink and purple eyes. Number 983 has only purple. The mystery also has a strange logo on the leg and has Hasbro branding. The magnet on the bottom of the pet is also smoothed down, and interestingly the glove it comes with is a different shape and made of different material from other LPS gloves. These ones are hard plastic while official released ones are more soft.
Also included in that listing was this snake.
This pet honestly just looks like number 969 but with less shine. It could have been some kind of error while making it, or perhaps they were testing how much shine they wanted to use for this pet.
I believe that's all for that listing. Let's discuss another mystery pet from Generation 3.
This pet is Zoe Trent from the 2012 cartoon. This specific version of her is from the Shopping Sweeties set. It appears she may be some kind of error because the released version is meant to have flowers in the hair.
Next up we have this rabbit.
This appears to be a prototype or error of number 1705. This rabbit was found around 2007 to 2010. As you can see here, number 1705 has a lighter base color and the hair and neck tufts are a tan and the nose is a bright, almost orangish pink. While on the mystery it has a darker base color with white tufts of fur and a light pink nose. Next we have this horse. This pet looks to be either a prototype or factory error of number 1097. As you can see, number 1097 does not have a pink nose and it looks like it has a more dark pink color for its mane, while the mystery version has the same light pink as the airbrushing on its nose. Speaking of pink, this next pet seems to be one of a kind. We are yet to see someone else own a pet like it. Around 4 years ago, LPS Honey bought this corgi from a Russian seller. The seller had found it on AliExpress originally before Honey bought it. And it was also seen on Taobao. This corgi looks exactly like LPS number 871, a shiny metallic corgi from the collector's journals from 2008. The difference though is that this pet has pink metallic on the head and tail as opposed to the light gold it should have. This is how number 871 should look for reference. This is the only other image of the corgi. It's believed it's the same corgi Honey owns though. As you can see, it has some marks to help support that. As you can see, this mark on the head and cheek match up. Honey has said she fixed the nose though, which explains the change in that. The image was listed online as a prototype, although we have no confirmation of if that's true or not. It could also be an error or test for the paint. Interestingly as well, if you had attempted to buy a listing of this pet from Taobao or AliExpress sellers, they were likely to send you a normal number 871 regardless of if they advertised the pet as this mystery. Perhaps they had only one in stock and could simply not send another, which begs the question of if this is the only version of this pet to exist. To this day we are yet to find another.
Continuing with our pink theme, we have this fish.
The significance of this fish is not actually its pink color though, in fact it's about the lack of color. This pet looks like it's supposed to be Reba Rosy fish. Her tail is meant to have a pattern across the fin. It looks as if this pet is some kind of error or possibly test before adding the pattern between the purple parts of the fin. Breaking the streak of pink pets now, we have this sheep. This pet is likely a paint error of number 1697. She seems to be missing her light brown mask and darker brown legs along with hoof paint. Some people believe this lamb is a prototype though we have no evidence of this.
Another very likely factory error that's commonly referred to as a prototype or mystery is this collie.
It appears as though this version of number 237 might be a factory error. He had all his markings except his mouth is not painted and body appears to be a much lighter color than typical for this pet. You can also see this same light yellow color under the deeper orange on a released number 237.
The last dog for this section will be this poodle.
This poodle is one of our favorites. Her gorgeous blue makeup honestly looks a lot nicer to us than the released version of number 2240. As you can see, she is meant to have pink makeup. It seems the blue version is either a factory error or prototype of this pet.
Next up we have this Angora rabbit.
This pet looks like a cross between two different pets. Number 515's eyes and colors look very similar to the mystery, but number 774 has the same markings. And in case you were wondering, no, number 515 does not look like the mystery when its flock is removed. Instead it looks like this.
Oh my gosh! She's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
This leads us to believe the mystery is likely a prototype of one or the other.
The final pet for this section is this flamingo.
This pet looks like a prototype of number 2572. Either that or some kind of error or unreleased pet. It would be interesting if it were just an unreleased pet, because number 2572 was the only flamingo released with this ugly hair. So at least he isn't alone, I guess. Now it's time for our final section, Debunked Mysteries. These are pets that were once believed to be mysteries but since have been confirmed as something else.
We'll start this section off with a pet we didn't even know was considered a mystery until we started this video.
This pet is number 758, and while it was a mystery bag pet, we had no idea some people truly thought it was a mystery pet. He is simply a New Zealand exclusive blind bag pet.
Littlest Pet Shop is inviting you on a mystery pet hunt. You have a 1 in 6 chance of finding a special limited edition lion. Plus be in to win $1,000 worth of Littlest Pet Shop pets. See pack for details.
Our next pet popped up fairly recently. It's this collie.
This pet started popping up around 4 to 6 months ago or so. It looks a lot like LPS number 1194. People believed for a while it was a prototype or variant of that pet, but this is just a fake LPS. As you can see, this pet has very strange eyes and its nose is the same color as its markings above the eye when it should be pink. The pet also had a very hard head, unlike authentic LPS should.
Our next pet is very much real, even though it's sorta debated upon within the community.
This LPS may look a bit strange. That's because it is no normal pet. It was used in things like toy fairs or display cases in toy stores to advertise LPS. Before people realized what they were seen as mysteries. Some people assumed it was a cake topper, as it sorta has the same look as official LPS cake toppers. These are referred to as promotional pets. We will touch on them more in depth in a future video. Next we have this panda. There is quite a few of these panda. They are all clearly number 1305. But as you can see, they are not meant to have this strange reddish tint over the arms and legs. This is not a prototype though, it's simply a factory error as the paint is not mixed properly or is faded. This look is not uncommon with purple or certain blue-colored plastics.
Next up is a pair of pets.
These two pets were seen as mysteries by a few people for a while, but they are actually just China exclusive pets from the Paws Off diary. They are bonus pets. Speaking of bonus pets, this is our final pet for this category, but she isn't the only pet of her kind to confuse some people in the community. This pet simply was painted over with metallic paint, and that is the only reason for it appearing different. It is still an authentic and otherwise normal number 101. Similarly, this supposed variant of number 3561 has gotten some people confused as well. She is actually just another custom LPS and is otherwise a normal number 3561. Now that's every pet we have for this video. If we missed any, please feel free to share in the comments and we will make another video featuring any that were not already mentioned. We hope this video can be helpful for the community. If we got any information wrong or are missing anything, please share in the comments as well. Thank you for watching.